Hello, 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 everybody. It's Matt, and it is Bloodthirsty Thursday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on to any of that, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when I am here. I know it's an awful lot lately, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review, so I hope you keep that in mind. And one last little tidbit of information, check out the description box. I give you a brief synopsis, which I hardly ever write that. Today's was actually written by the director, Chris Leto or Leto, however it's pronounced. I am sorry for murdering your last name, Chris. Either way, he wrote today's synopsis. I got you your starring cast, your director, runtime of the cut I am watching, along with a link for a trailer, a link for where you can watch this bad boy for free, and if you decide, you can help toss a couple of bucks my way and help support the channel, which would be greatly appreciated. So with all that said in mind, and we got that all out of the way, let's roll on to the film of the day. And today's came out, and this year it is none other than the instant classic known as Death Blow. Wow, what an interesting little thriller this was. I really, really enjoyed this. This is definitely my kind of movie all the way around. It had it had suspense, it had some horror, it had some gore, it had some comedy, had some sexiness to it with some hot TNA. For those of you who are fans of sushi holders, good old Xhyvette holder is in here, along with a plethora of other great people in this film. This movie has a very good cast. I'm not going to lie. I am familiar with most of them from other films done throughout Gator Blade and Sleazebox Entertainment. You know, both their stuff, and then also working with Joel Winecoop and others that are down there in that Florida scene. Which, by the way, you do have a magical I wouldn't say cameo, but a magical part in here from Gator Blade Entertainment's very own Sean Donohue, which I absolutely love his character in here. His character is absolutely hilarious. He is just everything that you need from a character in this. I like Sean. I think Sean's a good guy. I think that I wish I could see more of his films. I need to get more of his films into my collection. I only have a couple so far, and I really like his stuff. I really like him. And as far as Chris goes, Chris, you are a fantastic director, sir. This is my very first film that I've seen of yours, and I absolutely love and adored every moment of it. What is Death Blow about exactly? Well, first off, like I said, it came out in 2023, runs at about an hour and 41 minutes. It's about a guy who's married and has a child, a teenage child who is about to head off to college in the fall. They are kind of down on their luck when it's coming monetarily wise. Much like a lot of us, we live paycheck to paycheck. We all kind of struggle, especially to put food on the table and to make ends meet. It can definitely be a bit of a struggle for a lot of us. So, it is a story of the everyday man, kind of. What would you do in this kind of situation? They have a rental property that they are doing weekly rentals, kind of like an Airbnb type ordeal. that when the son moves away for college, they plan on moving into that house and selling off their big house that they have right now and downsizing and doing all that fun stuff. They have a future plan going on for them, at least in the process. They have future plans. So like I said, they're struggling. The husband goes to the property. He takes care of everything. He goes to the property the day after a guy is supposed to be, or the day of the guy is supposed to be gone at noon. He's like, oh, I'll just show up there at 2:30, just to kind of, make sure he's gone. He shows up and the guy is still there, goes inside, and he finds that our guy, not only is he there, but he is dead. He is overdosed on drugs. And while he is there, he freaks out as any normal person would. He happens to find a bag full of $500,000. What would you do in this situation? Would you call the police? Would you take the money and run? What would you do? Our guy decides he is going to not only take the money, he's going to dispose of the body in a very brutal fashion. He takes it down to the beach and bashes its skull in, chops off the hands and the feet, and buries the torso, and takes the hands and the feet with him to burn away. Very, 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 very brutal scene, by the way. And while he is just a fun little fact, when he is going home from doing this scene, he gets pulled over by the police, and our police officer is played by our director himself, Mr. Chris Leto. I think he does a believable job as a cop. I definitely was like, oh shit, he looks like the Fuzz. He kind of a Kane Hodder-esque looking kind of fellow. Very has that intimidation factor of what a cop would have, it looked like, in my opinion. But I'm not one that deals with the police so on a daily basis, so I automatically am like, what did I do? One of those kind of people. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Magical scene. He's just pulled over for a taillight and is like, but he takes the money home, and then he starts to hide the money. This is broken up in several stories between him, the story of his wife, the story of our guy that had the money that overdosed on drugs. It goes over his last day there, where when he shows up at the house, he decides he's going to have a nice little party with 3 girls, and that is a fun, sweet little party, full of TNA. They're having fun, all that great stuff. They leave the next morning, and that's when he decides he's going to do some intravenous drugs and shoot up mainline directly, and he overdoses right there. So that goes through his end of the day, or his story of how he ended up there, and how he died, and why and then you find out whose money that belongs to, and where he's taking that money to, and then you find out her story, and her story is very deep and dark, and she has a child who is going to die and needs a very expensive surgery. So it has a lot going on here, and then you find out that the wife has there's more to his wife's story, and then you have a very brutal torture scene with the surgeon, where he takes a pinky toe, where he extracts an eye. He just does horrible things to both the wife and the son, because the son does show up at one point, and they, to quickly subdue him and make him part of the show as well. All the while, the husband is out having fun with a good friend of his, who is just an absolutely great character, all in his own. He's wearing this funny sweater vest thing with the bow tie. They're eating wings, watching the baseball game, discussing how there's no good batters on their baseball team and things of that nature, and there's just good pitchers, and the owners need to shell out money and this and that, and there's just a fun, great chemistry between the husband and his friend there in that scene, and just every scene that they have over the phone in general. There's just excellent writing and it all throughout this film. I feel like the dialogue is very fun and cool. It's catchy. It's average day people kind of jargon, It's not people talking like language that you normally wouldn't hear people talk. Other than our Gloria character, Gloria speaks very articulately, and she's very well educated about statistics, and she talks about all these statistics and how she's just all about all these different things, and about how your pinky finger, or I mean your pointer finger and your thumb have the most pain receptors in out of all the fingers, because you grab things mostly with those two fingers, and how the pinky toe is why you balance more, and then things about how people lie to each other, and just all kinds of just weird little statistics and trivia. It's just very well written. I just loved every moment of this movie. Going for an hour and 40 minutes, it didn't seem like it was really that long. It seemed like it was like an hour long. That's how well it moves along at a very good and steady pace. Now, on to the three things I love my films to meet. Audio is crisp, cool, and clean. There is no bumps in it that make it sound like there are things you don't understand that are being said. Excuse me. I never once misunderstood a word being said out of anyone's mouth in this film. The dialogue, it was delivered very well, and it was recorded very well. So audio gets an A+. Excuse me. On to dialogue. Dialogue is where the bread and butter is to this game, because this one has a lot of really good dialogue in it. I really enjoyed every moment of the dialogue, whether it be between the husband and the wife, whether it be between Gloria and the wife, or Gloria and the son, or Gloria and anyone else, or the friend and the husband. It just has really good dialogue in here. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed that. So it gets an A+ on that. So it has an A+ for audio, A+ for dialogue, and now on to editing. Editing is my my final spot where I like to be kind of a critique about films, and the editing is very smooth as well. I think this is one of the smoothest movies I've seen in a while. I really I'm holding this up there with like Fist Swing 76. This was up there with that on how good this one it was, or is, I should say, not was. Granted, I saw it in past tense, but it is a good movie. So I'm going to give it an A plus on the editing. So it's got 3 A pluses. On my final score on the 1 through 5, it's going to get a 4.5 out of 5. It's almost quite there for the 5. It almost feels like the perfect kind of movie to watch, especially if you want a good thriller with some good gore added in, a good story. It's not like Alfred Hitchcock level thriller of suspense, but it is definitely up there with a lot of the greats, in my opinion. This is something to hang your hat upon. I'm very curious to see other films from Chris. I just recently just like I said, I just recently watched this, and I'm very new to his world of directing. So I'm curious to see what else he has to come. I know he's got, what is it, Man in the White Suit, I believe, is his next upcoming film, which I'm curious to see how that will turn out. Because if it's half as good as this, I will be very pleased. So anyways, on to other things. I'm going to get the hell out of here. I love your faces as always, and as usual, peace.